she went in the back. She went
That's
into
just
the
ignorance.
anus.
That's just ignorance. That's
And-
not being taught properly.
Well,
Yeah,
you'd be
that's right.
surprised. What does ignorance mean? It means the person doesn't know. And there's a lot of people who don't know. There are many colors, I want to tell you. I've had a number of colors who go in till here. And they hit that indentation. They haven't even gone in. They haven't even gone in.
I think it's
And
for
this
the
is the
girls
night
to
of
be
the,
very
and this
helpful.
is the night that, you know, maybe the night of that they have to that they're going to get married, and they haven't yet gone in at all. So
Is it?
ignorance isn't a reason anymore. That's why we have this
I
class.
think
I'm
it
sure
makes,
a class
it
like
makes the girl feel good about herself when
Yes.
she knows about her body.
no
When
question
she's
about that. Yes.
familiar. It's,
So isn't it
it's
helpful
perfect.
for girls to be using tampons? Should that not be encouraged?
No, why?
Because then you're ready.
You're more familiar with your body.
That area of your body.
All they've had familiarity with is pushing something inside. No,
They're not checking it, it's very different.
they still
They
don't
didn't go
know.
inside,
They
did
still
someone?
do not know. Unless you're touching with your finger, you're touching something you don't know. When you're just taking something and pushing it in, she might be doing it blindly.
Right.
You know, and it's not going
Because it's not
against right. She has to know.
I think it's also important that I didn't have this, but I think that if the girls have like a picture,
I was just gonna say a diagram.
picture
I was
of
just
the-
gonna say.
Excellent.
because then they
Yeah,
can like
diagram, absolutely.
Okay,
Visual.
so there is a
Not just talk.
picture there. I was going to bring it actually with my board, but there is a picture that I do use, and I think each of you could get a copy of it. You know,
Oh,
and
I
you
was
could
gonna
buy
say maybe we
one.
can get a copy.
It's a laminated picture. It's a big one, and it shows the different positions. It shows a woman who's sitting with her legs apart. You know, like when you're putting your legs in stirrups. So it's showing the vaginal area, the whole area, not the vaginal area, the whole perineal area. There's another picture that shows the abdomen, and it has a side view also of the abdomen, and it has a view where you can see actually what the vagina looks like sideways. It doesn't look like, there's many different views of it. They have one view in particular that's just a view of the uterus, and it shows the vagina. But that is not really an accurate view. A vagina is not like, you know, you see, you see the picture here of the uterus, and here's the vagina at the bottom. It's not really like that. It gives you an idea of what the organ is like, but really when you see a side view, it's very different, because the vaginal opening is on an angle.
None of these girls ever went to like a gynecologist before they get married.
Some do.
I think that if
Some
we're
do
not
it.
showing them the proper
Really?
picture, they're gonna go
I
on
went like
Google
every year
and
since I got my period. Like when I was
Could you
12.
share with us
They're always-
the diagram?
Can we have
You
copies
see
of that
diagrams with
diagram?
doctors.
And photocopy or something?
That would be really helpful.
You know what?
because-
I think you should each get your own diagram. I could get it for you if you
Mhm.
want.
Could you
I
get it
have
for-
a-
can you
a
get it for us?
professional place in it.
That would be amazing.
Okay. So, how many people? You'll just tell me if you
We'll
want.
let
it.
you
We are
know.
on 10.
Yeah, we all want.
We all
I
want,
want
yeah.
a big one like that on my house.
It's big. It's big.
You're gonna give a
It's
big
a
one?
poster.
It is a poster.
You could fold
Do you have
it?
something smaller? Do they have a smaller one?
I downloaded.
It would be good to have a poster.
Yeah, oh, you
Okay,
did?
Not
so
as
yeah.
detailed, but a basic picture. Just because most
Yeah.
girls really
No clue.
have no idea the vagina has a canal.
Right.
It's just basic biology, really.
Okay.
Anatomy.
Actually, I could show you what I have, and then
Okay.
you'll see if you want to use it.
Okay.
I like the big one because I think they can relate to it better than just something that's it's very clear. It's extremely clear, and it has colors to it. And the idea is they have more of a feeling for it when they see colors to it that are added to it. Okay. So.
Because I remember when you did this a few years ago, that's your first part of the series. You said something that was an eye opener to me. That there could be many reasons that you could see blood on a tissue or an underwear, and there's only one that is causes a woman to become anita, only if it comes from the uterus.
Right.
So can you give some examples of what else, why else a woman would see blood? Like, what else could be
Okay,
going
so
on there
one,
besides?
so one of the things that I spoke about
about
was
the
going
dryness.
around.
Right.
The dryness is a big cause of it. To tell you the truth, women who are usually on contraceptives can have bleeding more easily than women who are not on contraceptives, generally. Why?
Birth
Contraceptive birth control pills.
Oh.
Usually the pills. And why is that? Because the pills do one or two things. They either prevent the egg from being released, or they change the wall of the uterus so that if an egg and a sperm do come together, the fertilized egg cannot implant itself in the walls of the uterus. You understand that?
So usually you see what spots?
One or two things. So what do you see? So that usually causes the reproductive system to have an effect somewhere else in it. In other words, if a person is on a birth control pill, it's going to affect something in the reproductive system besides. Everything has side effects. All medications have side effects. It doesn't mean that it's definitely going to affect the woman, but generally it does. And most women I see, I can tell who's on contraceptive and who isn't, just by looking at the cervix.
Wow.
So it's usually the cervix that is the part of the body that's affected the most. So it's up to you. You know, now they tell couples to take a contraceptive, right? They usually say for her to not be
Chapasnida.
Chapasnida, exactly. If she takes something, she'll prevent that. It's up to you if you think that that's really necessary. Most college teachers do recommend them, and there are people downtown who have a pill that they use. I don't even know what it is, but
Is it a lavage thing?
I know Mrs. Carl
Probably
is
don't.
very, I'm just saying, if you want to know, Mrs. Carl will tell you she's very against it. She's very,
So she says to just go by the cycle.
I don't know, I guess every situation
Okay,
is
so
different,
that's
but I'm
an-
saying is you have to, everybody has different, you have to, I'm saying.
According to the Rabbeim, Chupasnida is not the end of the
It's
world.
not the end of the world.
Yeah.
good, good.
It's not
Because
the
in
end of the
other
world.
communities it is.
Yeah.
And they
Because they
really,
have the mitzvah tans, so
yes.
everybody knows.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yes, but the colors are under such stress
Yes.
because of it,
So I guess
psychologically and mentally, and it's some of them are out to lunch. I mean, they're so, and you can't, you know, the parents also are very.
Also, they schedule the wedding a year, so
So
go
they
and
don't
know
know,
what will
yeah.
be. By us, it's 5-6 weeks, so
You could figure it
can
out.
figure out what.
Right. Okay, so there can be many reasons. PCOS, what I spoke about, when a person has polycystic ovaries, they can bleed from that, but that would be nida. Anything that comes from the uterus is nida. If it comes from the vagina, it's not nida. So generally, people will if you know, will tell a Rav. It's important to make sure that the colors know, not just colors, anybody. When they see blood, they shouldn't make a bedika, because once they make a bedika, then they really put themselves in a position of that's more questionable than if they haven't made a bedika. If it could be that they saw it on toilet paper. I mean, you'll go over all this,
Yeah.
right, with Mrs. Kalba. Okay.
So why from the uterus yes and the vagina no?
Because it's not a flow, it's not a period, it's only period.
Why from the
You
uterus?
said it
Yes.
from the uterus is nida, from the vagina is not. You
Right.
said.
It could be a
Because,
sore or
because
something.
why would any blood come from the vagina?
Oh.
It wouldn't ordinarily come from the vagina. It would have to be that a sore of some kind.
Oh, okay.
Otherwise, it wouldn't bleed,
Uh-huh.
right?
Okay.
From the
Uterus, the
It's
rectum,
normal.
obviously, it's
That's right.
nida. Okay.
okay.
So, but the period is from the uterus, right?
Yeah.
Right, that's, I
Right.
think that's the, isn't that the only blood that makes you nida?
The,
It comes from the uterus, it's the period or
Uterus,
something,
yeah.
or for some other reason.
Okay, so I want to tell you about one other thing that I think everybody should know. After women have had a number of babies, what happens to the cervix?
Goes down, does it?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
I remember I told you the tissue becomes looser and looser and looser. Some women have it that this tissue from the uterus has stretched and stretched and stretched and
The
stretched.
tissue is the cervix though?
The cervix. I'm just talking about the cervix, and it's hanging out. It's actually mummish hanging out. There are older women who this happens to, and many women have no idea what is happening to them, and they're wondering, how come I feel tissue between my legs, and it's just not normal. And they're right, it isn't normal, and they have to they can learn to wear a prosthesis that will hold it in, so that they don't have it hanging out, and it's not going to get worse and worse and worse. And many doctors will recommend that these women have a hysterectomy, which is ridiculous because
the whole
the whole uterus. The hysterectomy removes the whole uterus.
But if they're like 50 and they're past childbearing ages, what's the big deal?
What's the big deal?
No, after their childbearing.
Oh, well, let's remove all the things inside of us we don't need anymore.
But I know, but it's
Why would
because
you
it
remove that?
sounds very it sounds very it sounds very annoying. Like it's not just.
But the surgery is super.
It is annoying.
Is it?
but
Could it
you know
cause
what? I wanna
infection?
tell
I'm
you,
asking.
Older
Like,
women have many things about them that are annoying.
is it just annoying?
doesn't
Is it just
mean-
annoying, or could it have an infection? Could they get infections from it? Like, what is?
Not any more so than the vagina's not a clean place. It's not sterile. That's why you can put your finger in. That's why he can go in. I mean, that's why you're doing pedikas, and it's not a clean place. The urine is very close to it. It's fine for it to hang out, and yes, she probably will have bleeding because then it's exposed to oxygen when it's hanging out, and more oxygen, and of course it's going to get sore.
Is there something to avoid it?
So
say
yes,
older
so
women.
why am I telling you this?
Like, what age are you talking about? Are you talking about?
Women who are in their 50s, women who are in their 60s, women in their 70s, they start having this happen to them, and they're really, they have no clue what's going on with them, and they run to the doctor, and that's what the doctor tells them.
So how do you avoid it?
Okay, so how do you avoid it? And the reason I'm telling you this is because you've all heard of the Kegel exercises. It's a must that you tell your colleagues about them. And there's a good way that you can approach it.
How do you spell it?
Kegels.
I'm going to teach it to you. Now, there's a good way that you can approach this because colleagues are usually very, very scared the first night they're together, right? He's going to try to go in, and she's going to clam up. She's going to tighten the muscles in her legs, and as soon as she tightens the muscles in her legs, what happens? That vaginal opening that was nice and relaxed and open becomes very small, and there's no way he can go in.
They're 10, right?
Right? So one of the things that she could do before she is together, she can learn the Kegels. Because what do the Kegels do? They actually make her aware of that area. They give her a feeling that, oh, I know what we're talking about now. So how do you do the Kegels? How do you teach someone to do the Kegels? Imagine, excuse the expression, that we're in the bathroom. And you know, when you're in the bathroom, the reason the urine comes out is because we're very relaxed. So when the muscles are very relaxed, the urine can just pass easily. Imagine that all of us at this moment, we're in the bathroom and we're just relaxing our muscle. What would you do? You got that? You're relaxed, right? You sort of push it forward a little bit. Can you do that?
I don't want. I have to go to the bathroom.
Oh, you want to do that?
I don't want to hear that. I
Do it
haven't
now.
gone because I don't want to miss anything.
Stop writing for a minute and just sit. Okay, so stop writing, and just
pushing.
put your hands down. Okay, and just imagine you're in the washroom and you're urinating. Yeah, maybe stop it.